Pat's always late. Did you notice?
He wouldn't be Pat. Well, he's got a minute.
Here he is. So quit talking about him.
See, so he is on time.
Hey,
We're early.
Hi, Pat.
Hello, Pat.
hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just finishing up I got one more class to grade. I'm in the middle of it.
Well, don't let us, distract you from that.
I need a distraction. This is a welcome distraction.
Oh, good. So, what do you guys want to talk about this week?
Have you guys seen this film, Spirit of the Beehive?
Oh, no.
Okay, I'm
Is that
going to watch
Criterion
it
there?
in the class. I just want to see if you guys seen it. I just heard great things about it. Del Toro says it's one of the 2 films that made him a filmmaker. I can't wait to see it.
Wow. It's going to be the first film I talk about tonight. We haven't really talked much film.
A lot of TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also wanted to talk about Sam Rockwell and Martin McDonagh.
Oh, yeah. I have pretty hard feelings about that.
You do?
Yeah.
Good.
You're talking about that 3 billboards outside of Ebling, Missouri?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I hate that movie so much.
oh, good. We'll talk about it then, because I love McDonagh, like starting with In Bruges and then
I love In Bruges.
Seven Psycho.
Love In Bruges. Haven't seen Seven Psychopaths, but I love In Bruges. I've taught In Bruges in intro to film, but I hated 3 billboards. Hated it.
I didn't.
No, I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Mediadawgs, they're hip and they're cool, they're nobody's fool. They know the story in your town, 'cause George and Lou have been around. Mediadawgs, we're looking at you, we see what you do. We'll give you a yes or no, but the bad movie's gotta go. Mediadawgs, we're in your TV, we heard that CD. Some people call us movie dogs. That's wrong. Just as long as they'll be singing our song. Mediadawgs, Mediadawgs.
Have we started yet? We should start so we can talk about this.
Sure.
Yeah, we've started, haven't we?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so let's talk about 3 billboards.
Okay.
I'm
So
going to save myself some work later.
okay.
So what are we going to talk about? Oh, shoot, it might not show up.
No, it's
Oh, there. It's kind of there.
there.
Yeah.
You got to tilt. There we go. There we
Yeah.
go.
I paid $2 for it
Wow.
on Blu-ray.
No,
I'll talk about that later.
when I suggest to my students that I loan them a Blu-ray, it's like I'm trying to give them a steam engine.
What? That's the sleek new...
Right. Well,
No,
that's
it's
one of
all
the funny
streaming.
things
It's
that-
like it's all streaming. I go, do you have a Blu-ray player? They go, maybe.
Well, I can see Lou's chomping at the bit.
Well, no. I was
Check
just
this
going to say it's the 20 years that we've been apart. We missed the whole Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were still talking about
Laser
laser
discs.
discs.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me.
Now-
I got something to tell you about laser discs.
I just gave away a bunch of my laser discs.
Let's
You sold them all except for one.
yeah.
Yeah, I kept one.
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2.
People did too.
I told you that already. Sorry.
Well, no, but I could have guessed that anyhow. Just I remember that when we were
Right.
in class with me.
So should I tell you why I hate it, and then you
Sure.
guys can then defend it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, small thing first. As someone who grew up in a small town in Missouri, it did not feel authentic in any way. It didn't look right. The people didn't act right. They didn't sound right. The accents didn't sound right to me a little bit, but it felt like somebody's who had never lived in a small town idea of a small town more than it was a small town in Missouri. And even the look of it even the landscape didn't quite look right to me. I don't know if they filmed in Missouri or not, but they picked a part of Missouri that it just looks okay.
I don't think they did.
That was a little, did they film in Missouri?
No, I thought it was like, I'm going to take a guess, like, I don't know, South Carolina or West Virginia or some eastern
It didn't
state.
look right. It did not look right. So that I hate that. I hate when movies do that, and especially the depiction of small towns. It's not that I don't have a sense of humor. I mean, Waiting for Guffman, I think, is a brilliant depiction of small town in Missouri. It takes place in Missouri, the stool capital of the United States.
Ozark gets it right, don't they?
Huh?
Ozark, they get it right, don't they?
I need to watch Ozark. Haven't watched that yet.
Okay.
Winter's Bone gets it right in a real dark, depressing way. But so that bothered me. Okay. And then, of course, I think Frances McDormand's fine in it. I don't think it's one of her best roles. I think Sam Rockwell's okay. I think he's fine. He's a great actor. It's, once again, not one of his best roles. I think it's poorly written in some ways. I think it comes at an issue with a sledgehammer and let me get to the main thing. I hate the racial politics of it. I think it's such a whitening. How can I put it? It's such a movie that shifts the focus right into white people. I don't know. I walked out of there just going, and also, I'm sorry I've been using this word too often lately for you guys. It felt smug.
So,
okay, go. I'll shut up. Go.
My the first thought I have, which is fascinating to me, and again, is that your critique of it reminds me of when people didn't like Fargo, that were from that area, right?
Although I love Fargo.
No, I know, but I'm just saying you're not from Minnesota.
Minnesota,
It's different, right? So, 100%, you have a legitimate, reason to not like the movie. But my first thing would be to say, it also seems legit because, sure, what does Martin McDonagh know about, Midwest?
Irish or Scottish? Which is he?
English or Scott or Irish?
Yeah.
So that totally plays. That totally makes sense. That said, man, dude, I could not disagree with you more. First of all, let's talk about the characters are great. Every one of them, even Woody Harrelson is the best thing I've seen him do.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was another thing I hated about it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Well, no, I was just gonna say
his plotline did not make any sense at all. I
don't think that. I think Frances McDormand is probably the best actress working today, and this is as good as anything she's done other than Fargo. So there's that. Then here's where I really am going to come in as a disagreement with you, is that I love, and I actually wanted to talk on today's show about his list of credits, but I love Sam Rockwell, and this is far and away the best thing Sam Rockwell's ever done. His performance, going from being completely douchebaggy, unlikable, to so incredibly sympathetic in this movie. For me, so not only is that performance like the keystone or that's the high watermark for me when I compare performances in the recent past or ever. For me, Three Billboards is maybe one of two movies in the last decade that if somebody goes, what are the best movies that you've seen recently? I'll go, well, there's Three Billboards, and we can talk about this in a little bit, but there's Three Billboards and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and then we can talk about the rest.
Okay, I would disagree. Okay, yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a film that I love and I hate for some of the same reasons, that it's this sort of white fantasy. That Well, you know what? You know what race politics need? More white people. We need more stories about white people. We don't have enough stories about white people. And you know who are the real heroes? Racists.
Okay.
We
I
need
hear
more
you.
stories about how racists are really good people. They just are misunderstood. Come on.
Okay.
They're good people.
Pat.
Sorry. I'm being so sarcastic. I'm very sorry.
No, nope. I don't agree there. But again, certainly not. I mean, billboards isn't a fantasy to me because I didn't live there. I don't know that. It didn't strike me that way.
But you really think this is one of Rockwell's best performances?
Fantasy. What?
You really think this is Rockwell's best performance?
Yeah. Well, we might as well get into Rockwell then. So, because the movies that I use as a touchstone is one. First of all, any reason you can have to suggest somebody watch Galaxy Quest, you should watch Galaxy. It has nothing to do with Rockwell's performance.
Well, he's great in that movie. He's so funny.
Oh, he is. But I'm just saying that's just based on let's look at his his body of work. He's actually really good in another Martin McDonagh film, Seven Psychopaths.
I haven't seen that. Is that good?
Well, it is, but well, luckily it doesn't take place in Missouri, so you might like it. But yeah, no,
I loved in Bruges. I really loved in Bruges.
And Colin Farrell. Yeah, no,
all those white people.
Yeah, look, it is more white.
Anglo-Saxons and.
Well, it's one thing. Okay, I'm fine with that. It's just, but if you're going to make a movie about racism and you cut out all the black people or people of color as major characters, don't you see that as a problem? Isn't that a Mississippi Burning kind of problem? Let's make a movie about the civil rights movement and not have any major characters of color.
Anybody want to take this? But
nope.
Are you talking about Three Billboards?
Yeah.
I'm saying, isn't that kind of a Mississippi Burning kind of problem?
I'm asking you first, are we all talking about Three Billboards?
Yes.
That's a film about racism?
Yeah.
Okay, well you've gotta accept that first if you're gonna make that argument. So yeah.
Yeah, I think isn't racism a major issue in that movie? I mean, he's a racist cop, right?
Yes. But he's also a character. So why is it about racism if there's a character that's a racist?
Because the racism becomes a major part of the plot. His racism becomes a major part of his character and his plot.
Yeah. Okay. Well, eventually you guys will get to me on it. So go ahead.
No, go, George. I'm sorry. I've been.
No, I see it.
I've been dominating.
It's more of the movie's kind of in a lot of ways, it's like a cartoon. I mean, the violence is like out the door. I mean, these people probably would have been dead. If
that's true.
If the things in that movie had really happened. So to me, it's more. So then it becomes kind of thematic to me. And when I was finished with that movie, or when it was finished with me, to me it was a movie about just deep-seated generational anger and
toward what?
And forgiveness. And it moved me a lot, but it wasn't until the end. And I'm not saying that Sam Rockwell's character was, how do you say, it was changed, saw the light. But I would say that at the end of that movie, there was a first step taken. And that little glimmer of hope is what I'm always looking for, I guess.
I know, that was nice.
Yeah, I mean, don't you think
he's a great actor? He's never bad.
Right, but we live in a world. I mean, if we're going to turn it into being about racism, I mean, we live in a world where everything seems to be black and white. You're on this side of it, or you're on that side of it. You're not allowed to have any gray area in your feelings about things.
No, I'm great with gray area. But that movie doesn't do gray area.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you personally, Pat. I'm just saying people in general, right? When people get into arguments or conversations about, hey, I'm on the right and I'm on the left, there doesn't seem to be any meeting in the middle, right? And this film allows us to see these characters, that he shows us that you can push them into looking at the bigger picture and seeing what their thought and whatever was ingrained in them is wrong, and there is potential, because like George said, there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's hope at the end of this movie.
But I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, you guys have very extreme, like, opposite views on this film, and I'm kind of right in the middle of it, of both of them.
But that's fine. But again, that's
Sure. Sure.
So so that brings me to, and I guess when you're not on the side of it where you hate the film like Pat does, maybe this is easy for me to say, but it's certainly a movie that's stirring up conversation, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of movies like that anymore.
A movie just popped in my head that I think does a much better job of portraying small Midwestern, Southern, white identity. And that's Carl Franklin's One False Move from the 1980s.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's a great movie. It's forgotten. It's forgotten. It's a great movie. Bill Paxton, maybe his best performance. I don't know. See, that movie I think tackles it. I know. God bless him. I love him so much. That movie, I don't know, tackles it in a good way. But I would think for Sam Rockwell, I'd go Moon.
Oh, Moon was great. I was actually going to go The Way, Way Back. Have you seen The Way, Way Back?
That's another film I found kind of irritating.
Oh.
What was it about? I'm not sure if I saw it or not.
I love it so much. It's about the kid that goes to the cottage with his mom and his is Steve Carell his stepfather or her boyfriend or whatever. And so he's spending the summer there with nothing to do. And then he starts going to the local water park. And Sam Rockwell is the manager at the water park, and he befriends the kid.
I wasn't crazy about that one.
I love it.
The critics were all like, "Whoo, you've got to see the movie."
I have to apologize to my friend Nick Versace because he loves that movie, and I just got on this thing where I was mocking it around him just mercilessly, and I shouldn't have. It has good elements.
Wait,
but I was teasing him really bad because I said my main problem with that movie is, and I'm sure that the kid who's the actor can do good work, but it's like he's acting with his shoulders all the whole movie.
Wait, your friend,
stop it.
Your friend Nick, does he watch the show?
The Way, Way Back? Oh, I don't know. I'll have to ask him. I'll have to tell him to. He's a huge movie nut.
Okay. Because you said you
really smart guy in terms of movies. Great taste in movies.
Exactly. That's why The Way, Way Back is a great movie.
I don't think it's a good movie. I think Steve Carell's pretty convincing in it. And I'm sure that kid can do good acting. Okay, once again, same kind of thing, better movie, Adventureland.
Yes. Agreed.
I like Adventureland better.
I love Adventureland. I didn't connect to it the same way I did Way, Way Back. But
yeah, that was like a better version of The Way, Way Back for me. I had a hard time watching Way, Way Back because it just got irritating to me after a while.
No, again, just Sam Rockwell alone maybe did that for me. But
Toledo.
Yeah, must have been great.
What'd you say?
I think it was filmed in Toledo. That's why Lou likes it so much.
Oh,
yeah, that's the only thing I like is stuff that's filmed in Toledo. So I don't like anything.
Is it based on that one water park? I saw a documentary about that water park where people like died.
I don't know. I try
not to. A water park in, I believe it was in like New Jersey or something, and it just got more. Got more and more extreme, and they were doing these crazy things, and it became like a rite of passage for the kids in the area to see if they could survive it without getting injured. I can't remember, but boy, I saw a thing about it.
I believe you. Sure. But yeah, all right. So let's find something else I like and you don't like. So
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Well, I thought, I loved it so much, and especially because I've seen some of it, watching it at home. Um, it's such a great movie theater movie to me.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
where you get
yeah.
in. I even went to see it, and again, I know this is going to sound like it skews my thoughts on it, but I had already loved it, and then I went to see it at Tarantino's theater, the New Beverly
Wow.
in L.A.
In fact,
And
Nick and his dad Rocco saw. I'm friends with Rocco's one of my best friends. Nick and his son. They saw Hateful Eight at that theater with an introduction from Tarantino.
yeah, I wish I could have gotten that, because that would have been the ultimate. But still, you're seeing it with a packed house of, and this is deep into the run. You're seeing it with a packed house of Tarantino fans and stuff, and it's
Can
just
I ask you a question then?
something really cool.
Can I, Lou? Okay, Lou. I got a question for you then. That's something that's really bothered me, and it's not about the film. It was about the audience I was with when I saw the film.
Sure.
So I want to ask you something. Do you remember the scene where he is acting in the Western drama?
Yeah.
And there's the Jodie Foster character, the young girl.
Mm-hmm.
And he's having a hard time, and he goes into his trailer and he starts mocking himself and yelling at himself.
Right.
Did your audience laugh at that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when he goes back on the set and he nails it, and the girl says, "That's the best acting I've ever seen," did they laugh at that?
No, because, and I'll tell you something about that. I'm glad you went there. And part of this comes from me being an actor.
Yeah.
Is that there are two scenes in my memory, or my tank in movies ever, where there's an acting scene that it's the most brilliant thing I've ever seen, acting wise. And one, to go back, is Mulholland Drive in when Naomi Watts goes in for that audition, and she gives the audition, and it's really surfacey and kind of lame, and they give her a redirect, and she takes the redirect and does her audition again, and is just completely like in the zone and just beautifully raw. I always bring that up as the best actor acting scene in any movie, and DiCaprio in that scene that you're talking about equals that for me, when he goes from it being completely distracted and off, just slightly off, to then delivering that. On top of it, it's on this schmengy TV show thing, and believe me, it's not because the girl says that's the best thing I've ever seen, and then my head says, yeah, you're right. I'm like watching it going, that is absolutely brilliant, in that he's playing a character who's this guy and has this capability, and then kicks into something that's way beyond the ability you assumed of that character. And it's just beautiful to me. That's why, and I think that's why people didn't laugh. So did people in your audience laugh when she said that?
Yeah. They laughed at him when he was having that anxiety attack, which I didn't think was funny, because it seemed very real to me. I felt like that before.
Yeah.
And then when I thought, well, okay, but he is kind of playing it big, I get it. And then he does this amazing scene, the girl says that, and the crowd just roared with laughter. They thought he goes, they thought, idiot. And I was like, these people, the problem I have, I hate to say this, the problem I have with some Tarantino fans is they think that it's all irony. They can't handle anything sincere. And that's a sincere moment for me. And it bothered me that the crowd laughed at it.
Yeah, no, there's especially when you see it with that crowd in the New Beverly. I mean, you're seeing it with a true Tarantino crowd, right? And so the amount of laughter was probably exaggerated, right? Because people are laughing at everything, but people didn't laugh at that. That gets, I mean, that drilled down to the heart of the movie, I think, for people.
And that's a great performance by DiCaprio. That's a great performance by DiCaprio.
Well, so is Brad Pitt. It's the extreme of on one hand, DiCaprio with this amazing quote unquote acting performance, where he just embodies that character. and then the flip of it is of how Brad Pitt's and it's so rare. I rarely say this, and I don't mean it derogatory at all. But Brad Pitt, who happens to be a stuntman in the movie, is a movie star in that movie. You're just watching a legitimate movie star.
He's old school. He feels very old school,
Yep.
It's hard to make characters who aren't very smart compelling. And DiCaprio does a great job.
Well, and Pat, as someone who loves horror as much as you do, my God, that scene at the ranch when Brad Pitt's at the ranch and all the family
real tense,
there,
real tension there.
That's as intensive a scene as I've ever seen. I couldn't breathe. I was. You realize after it's over, you haven't breathed. I haven't taken a breath.
And not to give spoilers, but I like what he does. I like what he does with the end. I have to admit, I like it. I know it's super violent, but I really, there's something really cathartic about that. It's the violence against women. People have made the argument about, okay, I can see it. I have a problem once again with the racial politics of the movie. It wipes out, it shows you that area kind of in a real whitened way. And then the whole scene with Bruce Lee. Do you know that in the script, Brad Pitt's character was going to beat him up? And Pitt said, I don't think that's right. And Tarantino, Pitt had to fight with Tarantino. What's all this anger toward just taking the white man and saying we have to make him ascended above all else? You know what I mean? It's just that fantasy there.
Well, see, that's funny to me, Pat. That's where you go, because where I go on it is who is a bigger fan of these, and again, I don't know the correct term, but these kind of martial arts masters in film than Tarantino.
Hong Kong cinema.
Yeah, nobody that I know of is a bigger fan of that.
Why did he do that then?
Well, no, hang on a second. That's what I'm getting to. Is nobody's a bigger fan of that than Tarantino, and it's proved, in the Kill Bill movies. But so a guy who comes from that place, maybe he has, and again, whether it's legit or not, maybe he has some deep-seated anger that the face of that type of action and so forth is Bruce Lee, who he didn't have respect for. And so he called him out on it. You know what I mean? To me, it was him saying, look, if you want this stuff, go to the source, go to the Hong Kong cinema and watch this stuff. Don't put a Bruce Lee movie on and then tell me that you're a fan of the genre. That's how I took it. He of course backtracked and apologized. I didn't mean anything by it, but I don't believe that. I think he was making a statement about that Bruce Lee wasn't the be all end all. And again, I don't know enough about all of it to really have a strong opinion on it, other than that I understood where it was coming from. I thought I did, anyways.
How do you feel about the violence toward women in that movie?
Well, the
fact that Brad Pitt's character is potentially a wife murderer.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it pushes all the wrong buttons in terms of the way that it treats women. But I tend to go, the other way. I guess not that I don't care about all that stuff, but I'm more like, I come away from a movie like that going, not so much the in-depth part of it as much as the what did I like, and maybe it's just on the surface.
There's a lot to like in that movie. There's a lot to like in that movie.
But I was going to get to, I've never liked Margot Robbie, and I loved her as Sharon Tate, and I loved the who I'd seen in other stuff like The Leftovers, but the what's her name, Margaret Qualley, I think, that plays the one that pulls Brad Pitt into the ranch.
Right.
So that's what I come away from it, where I'm like, I really enjoy these particular characters more so than who's violent against who and who. It's not like Brad Pitt. Well, either one, or DiCaprio is like a good guy that you're coming away from there going, I want to be like Leo DiCaprio.
But you are meant to want to be like Brad Pitt.
Well, yeah, for sure, like Brad Pitt.
His character.
Yeah.
So you didn't think some people? I know a lot of people have argued that she was there. The Sharon Tate character is there just as window dressing. She doesn't really have a character. I kind of felt she did.
No, I disagree with
I
that
like
'cause-
her as an actress.
Yeah, no, I disagree. I thought she brought a lot to that. I thought she was really particularly interesting because it's certainly not. I don't come at it from. I have the other thing that usually doesn't happen for me is like that. I like actress because I'm attracted to her. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like I was happy that she was there because it was eye candy or something. It was the reason I liked her is because I really felt something, for her character, and I felt like he did do as much as he could with that.
George, what did you think of it? Did you see it?
What? What? I loved it. I don't know. I mean, I guess. Okay, first of all, I've been away from Pat, your world, and Lou, you're in a completely you guys are all in very specialized worlds, and I guess I'm just out here in the AMC, the only one in the theater besides my wife. So, so no, we did not laugh.
I miss AMC. I miss my movie theater.
We did not laugh during those parts. I don't. I'm getting tired of going to the movies, and that was like one of the small joys was that we were the only ones there. So why not be at home? Because nobody. Oh, it's Sparky the Wonder Dog with the dog of the week.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's okay. But yeah, I mean, so I'm like, I don't know. I'm captured by the things that grab me in a movie, and I'm not talking about the person next to me, Lou.
Well,
But
now that I don't go to the movies with you anymore, I can't grab you.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? Speaking of small town, I just got this on the DVR because I saw this with Lou a long time ago. Well, what was the name of it? It's another phrase. Anyway, Paul Newman.
Nobody's Fool?
Thank you. And I'm really, really looking forward to that because I thought that was a really nice small town movie. But
we just rewatched that. We just watched that with Lily and who had it.
I don't know if I've seen that one. Maybe
much Paul Newman. It's great. Well, I'd say it's great, Pat, but it does take place in a small town. So
I'm not against small town movies,
and I'm not seeking out like movies with white characters. I'm genuinely not. I don't know. I've got a.
And okay, for the record, I'm not against movies with white characters. Okay, it's just when they bring race, and if you bring in that issue, imagine having a film about the where feminism becomes a major issue, and there are no female characters.
Right, it's got to have that issue in it, I suppose. I mean, I live in Libertyville. I was out mowing the lawn today. One black person and one seemingly Asian person jogged by amongst tens of people. I mean, I live in a pretty white world still.
Yeah, I do too.
And
I grew up in a small farm town, with a very small non-white population.
Right, and I kind of did too. I mean, ask Tom Morello. He craps all over our town all the time, but I get it. I'm not angry that he does. I used to not get it. I used to be like, I don't know, but it's not my tale to tell,
Yeah.
I got a different one. Well, anyway, getting back to that movie, I loved it. I guess I don't want to sound like I'm this like pure person, but a lot of times I see the violence against the person before I see the character before I see a violence against the things that they are, I guess. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Totally. I'm more that way too. I just, again, I can't, if I have to get into the conversation, I can't justify where my brain goes on that stuff other than to say, yeah, I guess you're right, but I don't know.
But I've been away from Pat's world for so long, where you look at stuff so analytically, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not anti Pat, or anti-analysis, or anti, college. Anyway, enough about my feelings toward the film. I was thinking we should do a if we pick the Oscars from this year, even though they've already. I don't even remember who won most of them except for maybe Best Picture.
I didn't really pay attention to them this year.
I watch them anyway, and I watch the Globes because I want to see Ricky.
Yeah.
Hey, have you heard about that new show of his? I'm kidding.
Oh yeah, got to watch that. I thought the best film of last year was Parasite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely do.
Well, we should do this next time because I don't even remember what.
Yeah, I'm not prepared, but I will say it's good that you bring that up, because now this time I can go, I thought it was a little overrated.
But
really?
I did. Yeah.
I loved it. Loved it.
It was too and again, I always couch this in making sure everybody's clear that I'm a David Lynch fan before I say something like this, but I thought it was too slow, and because it was so slow, it was too easy to predict where it was going to go. And
I thought it was consistently shocking and surprising through the whole thing. I was on the hook the whole time. I was like on the edge of my seat.
How did you feel about the violence toward Asian people?
Yeah.
God, now you guys are mocking me. Okay, you want to go there? Okay.
No, I really don't.
You guys going, I don't see gender. I don't see color.
No, I'm not saying
that. Once upon a time, Hollywood sets up a pattern of violence toward women.
Yeah. And
so it's asking you, it's asking you to see them as women.
Yeah, but how about this then? Then why did he save Sharon Tate?
Because she's the good girl who is the nice one, who's pretty and blonde.
The Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay.
Right? And
he's the object of desire that you're supposed to like,
Well, okay, but
she's not the bitchy wife that he killed.
No, but what else are you grabbing? Because the women are committing violence. The women that were part of the family. Yes,
and he focuses on that. And then he gives you, the guy gets killed pretty quick, and then you're supposed to love it when he flamethrowers her. It's just like.
Okay.
It's
a sense of relief for me, because it's like, oh, finally.
No, seriously though, are you guys saying you really don't? I mean, I'm saying I really love parts of the movie. Are you telling you don't really see any sexism at all there in that movie?
I'm not looking for it, I guess.
But it's not there.
It was about the characters, not what gender they were.
But the movie is. You don't think the movie is kind of making it about that?
I didn't think so. I mean, who's the little girl, right? We care more about right? If you're buying into that, like I do, that he gives.
Oh no, I think she's a great character. Yeah, she's a great character there.
It's really important to me when she says to him, she rubber stamps what I was thinking. That was amazing.
No, I'm not saying the movie. I'm not saying the movie. I think that it's a complex thing for me, but I'm just saying I think there's a positive side there and a negative side. And I'm not saying you can't show women negatively. I'm not saying you can't do all that. I watch horror film. I see a lot of violent kind of stuff, but I'm just saying that there is a kind of male fantasy being played out here.
Right, but and there's a good, a good comparison for you. And I'm not going to call you out on it, but how many horror movies are violent towards women? Most of them.
Let me tell you this too: is that horror film is one of the best genres for strong female characters at the same time.
I hear you, but I think it's.
There ain't no Ripley here. They're in the final girl here, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But isn't it a movie about two guys?
Yeah.
I
Huh?
mean, sorry, they're white guys.
Yeah, it's a movie about those two guys.
Like our show.
ulti-
Those three middle-aged white guys.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay. I mean, I'm not trying to sound self-righteous or over analytical. I think it's pretty, it's just kind of there for me.
No, I hear you. I just, it's not how it hits me, to be honest. But again, there are people knocking on my door right now, lining up and complaining about everything that Tarantino does, and are gonna say,
I tell you, a movie I thought was really bad that he did was Death Proof. That's the one movie of his that I think is truly just horrendous.
Was what?
Well, I love Tarantino, and I kind of ignore that one. It's forgettable to me, really, more than anything.
I loved Inglourious Bastards. I thought that was great. I loved Kill Bill. I need to see Jackie Brown. I haven't seen Jackie Brown yet.
Oh yeah, especially with
a lot.
Robert.
I love
Forster.
Reservoir Dogs. Love Pulp Fiction. I didn't like. I thought Django Unchained was like 3/4 of a great movie.
Yeah, I didn't like Django. That was the only. I don't like Django. Did you say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Did you see The Hateful Eight? Did you like The Hateful Eight?
No, was that good?
I loved it. I know there's mixed feelings on it, but I've seen it a couple. I actually watched it a couple times normally, and then I watched he did like a broken up episodic version where he added footage to it. So on Netflix, you can see like the full movie, which is about 3 hours, or you can watch 6 hour long episodes.
Wow.
So I would watch it the movie way first. But again, speaking of, and certainly she's despicable, but damn, Jennifer Jason Leigh was amazing in that movie.
Well,
George, did you see The Hateful Eight?
Yeah, she's great.
Yes. What was it about?
Most of it takes place in that cabin, and they're snowbound in the cabin, and she's
maybe not. But let me get back. Pat keeps getting stepped on. Did you say Death Proof?
Was it Death Proof? Is that the name of it?
I've never even heard of it. I'm looking.
It was part of that exploitation thing he did with Robert Rodriguez and.
Yeah, it's a double feature with the other movie.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, I've never even heard of it. This is the first I've even heard of that film. Kurt Russell?
Oh,
it's
horrible. It's so badly written, and it's just there's a movie where I have to say that's just super misogynistic for me, because he has female main characters, but he doesn't know how to write a woman in that movie.
Right, but it was very much about the genre, right? So what's that going to be? He's not going to switch it up. If that's all he's doing is making a exploitation movie, a B film.
Oh, I just taught Foxy Brown, and that's an exploitation movie that I love the depiction of women in.
That's true.
I don't know.
Before we started,
can he write good female characters?
Maybe not, because again, it's not like Jennifer Jason Leigh's character is someone to look up to in Hateful Eight. She's a bad dude, but yeah, because look,
Kill Bill. Parasite. Oh, but you want to wait on that till next time for an Oscar thing?
Yeah, but I was just Kill Bill. That's all about.
And I think the female character in Inglourious Bastards is really good, and I like her.
Yeah.
He's got his foot thing going on, but that's his own thing.
Yeah, the foot thing is amazing in Once Upon a Time.
I forget it in Once Upon a Time. Where's the foot fetish scene in Once Upon a Time?
Oh, it's constant, but it's like Margaret Qualley's character when she gets in the car with Brad Pitt and she puts it up on the dash.
God, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, he's letting his freak flag fly. I think that's good for him.
Yeah, I mean, he is what he is. It's just, I guess it's exasperated when there's nobody to counterbalance his stuff. So that's why it comes in the focus of his treatment, or maybe his inability to write good female characters. But you know, he is what he is. And you're either there or you're not, I guess. But hey, sorry, George, we cut you off again, I think.
I feel like this has been Lou and I going back and forth, and George kind of like Lou and I arguing, and George being thrust to the side.
I think people like that. They like the tension.
Media Dogs.